Quick, be quiet.
What is it?
It's Teddy. I hear him tapping the new barometer. He can't have anything serious on his mind or he wouldn't do that. Perhaps Georgina hasn't said anything. Try and look as if there was nothing the matter. Give me my gloves, quick. Go further away from me, quick. If I button my glove, and you were to hum a tune, don't you think that
the tableau would be complete in its guiltiness? For heaven's sake, Mrs. Bumpus, let that glove alone, you look like a pickpocket.
Hello, I thought you two were at the theater.
I felt anxious about you, Teddy. Why didn't you come home to dinner?
I got a message from Georgina. She wanted me to go to her.
Poor dear Georgina. I'm sorry I haven't been able to call on her this last week. I hope there's nothing the matter with her.
Nothing except anxiety for my welfare and yours. By the way, John, I should like a word with you this evening, if Aurora can spare you for a moment.
I am at your service.
No hurry. After the theater will do.
We have decided not to go.
Indeed. Well, then, shall we adjourn to my snuggery?
You needn't move. I shall go and lock up my diamonds since I'm not going to the theater. Give me my things.
Well, we shall have more room here.
I think I should prefer plenty of room.
So, if it's not disturbing you, Rory.
Not at all.
Do these manuscripts seem at all familiar to you, may I ask?
Manuscripts?
Yes, would you like to look at them a little closer?
Why, these are my poems.
So I gather.
What a shame. Mrs. Bumpus has shown them to you. You must think me an utter ass. I wrote them years ago after reading Swinburne's Songs Before Sunrise. Nothing would do me then but I must reel off a set of songs to the sunrise. Aurora, you know, the rosy-fingered Aurora. They're all about Aurora. When Mrs. Bumpus told me her name was Aurora, I couldn't resist a temptation to lend them to her to read. But I didn't bargain for your unsympathetic eyes.
John, that's really very ready of you. You are cut out for literature, and the day will come when Rory and I will be proud to have you about the house. I have heard far thinner stories from much older men.
Do you mean to imply that you don't believe me?
Do you expect me to believe you?
Why not? I don't understand.
Come, don't underrate your own cleverness, John. I think you understand pretty well.
I assure you I am quite at a loss. Can you not be a little more explicit?
Don't overdo it, old chap. However, I will just be so far explicit as to say that if you think these poems read as if they were addressed not to a live woman but to a shivering cold time of day at which you were never out of bed in your life, you hardly do justice to your own literary powers. Which I admire and appreciate, mind you, as much as any man. Come, own up. You wrote those poems to my wife. Of course you did.
Mr. Bumpus, I pledge you my word you are mistaken. I need not tell you that Mrs. Bumpus is a lady of stainless honor, who has never cast an unworthy thought on me. The fact that she has shown you my poems—
That's not a fact. I came by them without her knowledge. She didn't show them to me.
Does not that prove their perfect innocence? She would have shown them to you at once if she had taken your quite unfounded view of them.
John, play fair. Don't abuse your intellectual gifts. Do you really mean that I am making a fool of myself?
Believe me, you are. I assure you, on my honor as a gentleman, that I have never had the slightest feeling for Mrs. Bumpus beyond the ordinary esteem and regard of a pleasant acquaintance.
Oh, indeed.
I should never have dreamt of writing poems to her. The thing is absurd.
Why is it absurd?
Well, it happens that I do not admire Mrs. Bumpus in that way.
Let me tell you that Mrs. Bumpus has been admired by better men than you, you soapy-headed little puppy, you.
There is no need to insult me like this. I assure you, on my honor as a...
You don't admire Mrs. Bumpus. You would never dream of writing poems to Mrs. Bumpus. My wife's not good enough for you, isn't she? Who are you, pray, that you should be so jolly superior?
Mr. Bumpus, I can make allowances for your jealousy.
Jealousy? Do you suppose I'm jealous of you? No, nor of 10 like you. But if you think I'll stand here and let you insult my wife in her own house, you're mistaken.